Alright, what is going on, guys? It is Illusion. Welcome back to another video here on the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. And in today's video, I want to touch base with the Ghost Recon space and have a discussion with you guys. But before we get into it, if you guys are going to enjoy this video, consider hitting the like button, consider hitting the subscribe button. It helps my channel grow and it helps get my videos in front of more people. But with that out the way, let's jump into the topic of today's video. Okay, so the first topic I want to touch base on is when it comes to PvP and Ghost Recon, is it not something that's genuinely popular with most people who play Ghost Recon? You know, I've been seeing a lot of creators put out videos talking about things they would like to see when it comes to the next game, and I haven't been seeing a lot of people talk about PvP, and that leads me to believe that either most people don't want PvP or just most people aren't really talking about it. So it kind of prompted me to make this video, and that's what I said. I want to touch base with you guys. So when it comes to PvP, is it an afterthought? Do most people not want to see it? What's going on with that? Let me know down in the comments how you guys feel. And you know, I'm very curious to the answer to this question because, like I said, I haven't been seeing too many people talk about PvP. So let me know down in the comments how you guys feel about this, and you know, let's have a discussion. Alright, so the next topic I want to touch base on is, if PvP isn't an afterthought and you are interested, what changes can Ubisoft make to make PvP a little bit more popular in the Ghost Recon space? So the first thing I can think of is it's the movement system. Right off the jump, I have to touch base on the movement system. I don't know if you guys have played Breakpoint's PvP, but I've come back to it after a long time, and it seems to still be a pandemic of people running around in circles, abusing the movement system, and that plus like the weird server connection with Ghost Recon, it all makes just a pretty terrible experience. So when it comes to that, I can see how PvP didn't catch on in Breakpoint, but when you think back to Wildlands had a more realistic tactical feel to Ghost War, and you know, when you get to the 4v4, because I'm going to touch base on how Ubisoft can maybe experiment with other modes outside of 4v4, but when it comes to the 4v4, I would like to see, you know, something where it's a lot more tactical like it was in Wildlands, and not so much more of a running in circles battle with how it plays in Breakpoint. This will make a lot more sense if you played the PvP, but I am aware that not a lot of people play it, so, you know, I would definitely like to see them get a grounded movement system, something that you can't really exploit when it comes to online. And I feel like that would add to people trying PvP, and maybe finding that they like the experience. And since we're on the topic of changing things in PvP, I would like to see them experiment with something outside of 4v4, whether that be jumping on the gaming trends, and I'm going to touch base on that a little bit more later in the video, but whether that be them jumping on a gaming trend, or just, you know, doing your typical multiplayer modes like your team deathmatch, your dominations, and your maybe capture the flags and all that stuff. Maybe experiment with something like that, just to, you know, give something outside of the 4v4. Because what I've noticed as to coming back to the 4v4 experience, it's kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say boring, but it's very slow paced, you know? A lot of the game comes down to, you know, holding angles and all that, and I'm not against it. It adds to that tactical feel, but, you know, I would like to see them try to push something maybe more outside of the 4v4 experience. You know, 4v4 worked for what it was, but with people, you know, coming from other games, you know, maybe like your battle royales and your extraction shooters, I don't think 4v4 is going to be something that'll hold people's attention for a long time. So that's another change I would like to see Ubisoft make, and maybe experiment with something outside of the 4v4. But segueing into my next topic, maybe they can jump on a gaming trend. I see a lot of developers experimenting outside of the battle royale because I've noticed battle royale is on its way out. It's not really the big main genre that everybody wants to jump into anymore, and that's leading me to believe Ubisoft should jump on the next trend in gaming, which is like your hardcore tactical extraction shooter. Maybe more in the lines of like your Tarkovs and games like that. And I think there is a huge community that would like to see that coming from the Ghost Recon space. It really aligns with what Ghost Recon is, being your more tactical shooter instead of your more like arcadey military shooter, if that makes sense. So I definitely would like to see Ubisoft experiment with something outside of 4v4, and maybe doing that jump on a gaming trend, whether that be, maybe coming out with a really fleshed out battle royale. But I don't really see battle royale being the thing. I would like to see them experiment with that extraction shooter genre because it aligns with what Ghost Recon is, and I feel like that would do much better than them exploring with things like raids, because when raids dropped in Ghost Recon, I never really felt like that was what Ghost Recon needed. I felt like that's more in line with what the Division should be, and the Division raids really did well, and that's because it falls in line with that looter shooter. And I know Breakpoint tried to be a looter shooter, but as we all know, it just doesn't fit that Ghost Recon feel. Like, looter shooter doesn't fit the Ghost Recon vibe. So I would like to see them explore with things maybe more grounded in the Ghost Recon space, your more hardcore tactical like game modes, shooter game modes, like your extraction shooters, maybe your hardcore team deathmatch, or maybe if you're gonna stick with the arena shooter foundation, make it more than 4v4, maybe like a 6v6, 8v8. And I feel like that would be a lot more fun to play. And this is just me speculating, guys. Let me know how you guys feel about all this down in the comments. But I would definitely like to see PvP a little bit more. I don't know what to say. I would like to see Ubisoft take PvP a little bit more serious, because I do feel like outside of the story mode experience, PvP would be something that would also be a great package for the next Ghost Recon game. Let me know how you guys feel about all this. I'm very curious to know how you guys feel about PvP. Do you guys like it? Do you guys not want it? Like I said earlier in the video, I've been seeing a lot of creators talk about PvP. Not PvP, I'm sorry. Making videos about things they would like to see in the next game, but not a lot of them has been mentioning PvP. So let me know how you guys feel about all this. I don't want to ramble on too much more, but just the takeaway of this video is I would like to see them experiment more in the multiplayer / PvP genre. I feel like that would be a great addition to that Ghost Recon package, because I've noticed outside of grinding out your story mode missions, once you're done with all that and you have nothing really else to do except tackle bases, PvP, that's the perfect chance for you to go over into the PvP, and you can probably do some synchronicity things, maybe explore, maybe like you take your gear from the main story mode over to the PvP and you got to like gear up over in the story, and that gives you your PvP gear. However you want to, experiment with that, but I would like to see them experiment with the PvP a little bit more. But I think I'm going to end the video here, guys. Let me know how you guys feel about all this. I am curious to know how the rest of the Ghost Recon community feels about PvP overall. And let's have a discussion, guys. I'm going to end the video here. This has been Illusion, and I will catch you guys in the next video.